What's going down, y'all? One half of the Wake Up Crew, Ray GQ, here to talk some NFL prop plays over on Prize Picks for this Week 12 NFL slate. If you're new to the channel, we don't make you pay for picks, man. Take what you like, leave what you don't. Just hit the thumbs up button on the way out. Show a little love for us walking you through the process, shopping the book lines, and giving you some recommended plays. Again, take what you like, leave what you don't. I'm not recommending you run all 5, 6, 7 plays as a 7-leg parlay. That ain't how you do it on Prize Picks, man. Mix and match, bankroll management. I shouldn't have to tell you this 12 weeks into the NFL season, but if you are new to Prize Picks, smash that promo code WAKEUP. You put in $100, they will give you $100 back, right? Free money. Take advantage of that. But let's dive into the plays. I went to the model. We shopped the book lines. I think I got some bangers for us to cash out today. So let's get to the money. And I want to talk about DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver from the Arizona Cardinals. More than 10.5 receiving targets in this matchup. No Greg Dortch, no Rondale Moore. Arizona still third in the NFL at pass attempts per game. They're throwing about 40.5 times per game. Kyler Murray is back. Hollywood Brown is back as well, coming off of that foot injury. Thought we would see him last week, but these are the two options in the receiving game. No Zach Ertz. Running game, we'll see how that is with James Conner. But DeAndre Hopkins, you look at what he's done since coming back. He's been an absolute menace outside of the Seattle game. 14, 13, 14, and 12 targets. He's averaging about 11 targets per game in the NFL. The Chargers are going to score points. Keenan Allen is back. Josh Palmer playing well. Austin Eckler playing good ball. This could be a shootout today, and I'm all here for it. DeAndre Hopkins, more than 10.5 targets. On the books, his receptions are listed at 7.5 with heavy juice to the under. Not worrying about the receptions. All I want is the process. Throw to nuke, throw to nuke, throw to nuke. I'm taking it. DeAndre Hopkins, more than 10.5 receiving targets in this matchup. Next play that I want to talk about, and let's see where it is. On the books, let's go with Jeff Wilson Jr.'s rushing yards. On the books, 81.5 up to 83.5 on FanDuel. And I love it right here. We're still getting a little bit of value on Prize Picks at 80.5 yards for Jeff Wilson Jr. Jay Rich talked about this play in his video that he posted, that every running back that has received 17 carries versus the Houston Texans has gone over like 90 yards. No Raheem Mostert in this matchup. And Houston, down Derek Stingley, having to focus on Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. We're not going to overthink this one. You go to the edge tool over here from the 33rd team, and you'll see that versus the running back, Houston's still number 1 in the NFL at giving up yards to the running back. 153 per game, 29 rush attempts. The Houston Texans are allowing 5.3 yards a carry. This should spell good things for Jeff Wilson Jr., so load it up. 80.5 rushing yards. Let's get it, Jeff Wilson Jr. I'm in there. Next play that I want to talk about. Let's go to Cincinnati and talk about Joe Burrow. Jay Rich also talked about Joe Burrow in his video, his passing yards. I don't even care about the yards. The completions, 36.5 attempts. 36.5 attempts for Joe Burrow. This Tennessee secondary is not good. Their rushing defense, very good. Passing defense, not good at all. And let's go over here, check out the edge tool from the 33rd team versus the quarterback position per game this year. They are allowing 40 passing attempts, 287 yards to the quarterback position, 20.1 fantasy points. Number 1 ranked defense at pass attempts allowed per game versus the quarterback. No Jamar Chase in this matchup, still out. No Joe Mixon, so it's going to be a lot of Samaje Perine, maybe some Chris Evans. Nah, a lot of Joe Burrow. It's going to be Joey B, Joey Cool, Joe Shiesty, throwing the ball all over the field versus Tennessee. I went and checked the weather. Weather conditions should not be a problem. No inclement weather there. I was going to talk about some Tampa Bay and Cleveland plays, but the weather's a little shaky. Nothing to worry about in this one. Joe Burrow, more than 36 pass attempts. I'm throwing that on the slip, no doubt about it. And on the books, let's see where the books have this one at. Joe Burrow's pass attempts, little juice to the over, and in some books, you got it at 37.5 already for Joe Burrow. So I like this number quite a bit for Joe Burrow. I want to talk about Kenneth Walker, his rushing yards today versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, check the weather in this one. Should not be an issue. You see it anywhere from 76.5 up to 78.5. On Prize Picks, we lost a little value because it was 75.5 last night, but I still like Kenneth Walker at 77.5 rushing yards per in this matchup versus the Raiders, whose defense is not good. They're going to have to focus on DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Seattle's had a week off. Pete Carroll going to want to show up and establish it with Kenneth Walker. We go to the edge tool over here and take a look at versus the running back position. Here go the Raiders right here, giving up about 96 yards per game, which is 15th, middle of the road in the NFL, but they give it up versus the pass. And having to defend Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, give me some Kenneth Walker rushing yards in this matchup. We got Nuke, we got Jeff, we got Joe Burrow, Kenneth Walker, and I'll throw one more flex out there for you just in case you want to take it. But I'm talking about Devonta Adams. They just put his receptions up at 7. And let me see where the books have his receptions at. I think this is the second one. Here we go. Receptions made over 6.5. Heavy juice to the over on FanDuel. You'll see some spots have it at 7.5. Juice to the under. Not worried about the receptions for Devonta Adams. We come back over to the Edge tool and look at the wide receiver leaders in targets per game. Would you look at that? DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown right there getting about 11 targets per game on the season. So if I take Devonta Adams, which I personally will, it's going to be the targets versus Seattle, more than 10.5 targets. It is a lower down play, a flex play, not a core play, but I did want to talk about it. Nobody else, no Waller, no Renfro. It's just going to be Devonta Adams, a little bit of Mac Hollins, and a lot of Josh Jacobs. I like him as a flex play. The cores, DeAndre Hopkins, more than 10.5 targets. Jeff Wilson, more than 80.5 rushing yards. Joe Burrow, more than 36.5 pass attempts. Kenneth Walker, more than 77.5 yards. Those are the core 4. And a funky flex play right here with Devonta Adams, more than 10.5 targets in this matchup. Again, we don't make you pay for picks. Take what you like, leave what you don't. Just hit that thumbs up button on your way out the building. Think we got some good stuff cooked up for you today to make some money. So, as always, if you tail, get PrizePicks hell, and if we failed on bail, we'll be back with more NBA picks. Make sure you tap into the Wake Up Show tomorrow morning. We recap the NFL. We got Dynasty Trades for the fantasy football community, giving you everything over here. So hit that thumbs up button, show some love. Good luck. Enjoy the games. We're out of this thing. Peace.